It's Uncle Gold Ball. It was very monumental in giving me that foundation of business sense or business savvy at an age where probably I wouldn't have had it otherwise.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage JA Pitch Competition Chair, Entrepreneur, and tonight's Master of Ceremonies, Uncle Bill Hall.
Good evening. Welcome, everybody. You ready to have a good time tonight? Yeah. I want to welcome you all to the first annual JA Pitch Competition. My name is Uncle Gopal. I'm extremely honored and happy to be here cheering this great event along with Junior Achievement, Enterprise Corps, and the Kentucky Innovation Network. I've been looking at these plans and been so excited for the past couple of days that I really can't wait for you to hear what these kids have gotten off. I have so much respect for what you guys. I want to give you a couple of. I hear the sharks in the background. I think okay, there they are. I want to kind of kick you off of why we're doing this. What is entrepreneurship supposed to accomplish? What are we trying to do with these programs these volunteers that are coming into your classrooms and spending their time with the students and the teachers who are helping coach them into coming up with these business ideas and plans? Well, I come up with 6 simple reasons, and very honest and selfish reasons why. Bluntly, I'll let you look at it yourself. We want entrepreneurs to create new businesses. We want you to make money and add money to the national and state economies. We want you to make the ideas work that have impactful social change. We want you to give back to the communities, as you'll see with a couple of the companies we're honoring tonight, how they're going to be giving back to their communities. We want you to be passionate. We want you to show how things get done. We want to give you the help. That's what I have put in red. We want to give you the help and know there's help to get your idea off the ground. And there's plenty of organizations, as the ones who are sponsoring tonight, can help you with. For me, the short video you saw early has a lot of meaning to me because JA holds a very special part in my heart. When I was in high school, I had no idea what JA was. I had no idea what business was, and I think I signed up somewhere on a flyer and went one night, but it changed my life. It taught me about business fundamentals. It taught me about how important it was to work with a team, to getting things done, to stay passionate about your idea. And 20 years later, it's still a very dear spot in my heart, which is why I'm very honored and happy to be here. So just so you know, one night like this can change your life. And it did for me. So I thank you for letting me be here and indulging me, but I'm excited to have you be part of this wonderful occasion. Before we begin, I mentioned about the help you need. Next up, before I forget, we have social media all over the place. So if you want to share tonight's accomplishments with the rest of the world, here's our hashtag. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So tweet away, we'll respond, and we'll be actively tweeting during the presentation. Before we go into our first of 5 pitches, I want to introduce tonight's sponsor to making this event happen. You may not know this, but Chase Bank has been an integral part of the business community in the state. They've been in business in the state of Kentucky for over 150 years. They give almost $750,000 away to nonprofits. And we're really honored and pleased that they picked us as one of those worthy causes to donate to. So I would like to invite Louis Straub, the Senior Vice President of JP Morgan Chase, to come out and kick off our competition by saying a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, Louis Straub.
Entrepreneurship. America was built on it. It's integral to everything we do. It's in our DNA. You know, before I became a corporate guy at JP Morgan Chase, I was an entrepreneur. In college, I put my way through school. I had a construction company. I had an employment agency. I then had an advertising agency. And when I got employed with JP Morgan Chase, I thought I was going to go back into the private world and be an entrepreneur and build my own business. But in corporate America, Chase allowed me to be an entrepreneur within the company, to build my business, within a big corporation. Entrepreneurs are what make America happen. And JP Morgan Chase is very happy to be part of this inaugural liftoff of the Shark Tank. We have so many young entrepreneurs in this audience, so many that will help take this country to the next level. We at JP Morgan Chase, we've got 1,000 employees here. We've been a big supporter of JA for many years. We helped launch the Chase Finance Park. When I was a young high school student, I was in JA, so it's near and dear to my heart. Not only does Chase support entrepreneurs, but we support our customers, and we're happy we can do this. 1 in 4 Kentuckians, it's 25% of the population in the state of Kentucky, bank with JP Morgan Chase in one form or another. So on behalf of all of our customers, on behalf of all of our employees, we're happy to be here to sponsor this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Louis. Well, you all ready to meet our sharks? Here we go. These people hold the key. We have an extremely amazing group of judges, esteemed judges, very seasoned veteran entrepreneurs who will be able to tell you whether your idea is going to fly or not. First up, of our sharks, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sharon Carrick. Give her a round of applause. Sharon is the Associate Director of the Ford Center of Entrepreneurship at the University of Louisville, a seasoned entrepreneur who started multiple companies, won many awards, and I believe most recently you rang the bell at the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. So there we go. So next up, Mr. Vic Chadha, ladies and gentlemen. Vic is a veteran entrepreneur who started multiple technology companies, most recently, Backupify, which just recently got sold and acquired, which is a huge deal for any entrepreneur story. So congratulations on that. So if you ever need a company, if you want someone to buy your company, talk to him. He can help you. He can help you with that. So. Third up, Mr. Don Wenzel, please. Give him a round of applause. Vice President of JP Morgan Chase. Don has recently hit the trifecta last year, where one thing he did cost him a lot of money, and one thing he did he made him a lot of money. He won a couple of good bets at Keelan, and the same year, all his children went to college. So his net return, well, you can talk about that in the judging. So, our fourth judge is a partner at Centric Consulting. Please welcome Mr. Dion Dunn. Dion, like myself, is a veteran, an alum of JA, and so when I told him about this competition and I reached out to find people that were as passionate as the rest of us were about this, he stepped up and said, I want to be part of this because I can add a lot of value, and I'm really happy to have him here. Thank you for being here. Our fifth judge is no stranger to the stage. Please welcome J.K. McKnight, the founder and captain of the 4% Festival. J.K. is also our keynote speaker, and we're very proud to have him as a great example of a Louisville entrepreneur who's done fantastic things, and I think you'll love to hear his story later. In his spare time, I asked him if he liked listening to music, and he said, no, I like to go fishing. So appropriately, being an avid fisherman, being on the Shark Tank is well deserved. So let's give our judges a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So in my hand, I have the 5 finalists of today's competition, and randomly going to pick them. So we're going to get them, up the stage, come up and present. And before I do that, let me show you how it's going to work. Each team will be selected. They're going to have 3 to 5 minutes to present. The judges can ask questions, whether it be during the presentation or after the presentation. It's up to them. The judge will be rating on the teams on multiple things on the presentation, on their business plan, and also the questions that they asked. And the finalists and the winners will be announced at the end of the presentation as a collaboration on the judges. So, first school to enter the Shark Tank, and give it up for your school if you're here. Jeffersontown, bite the buzz. Adam assignment, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Bite the Buzz. Thank you, and good evening. I'm Ian, and this is...
Mary, Karen, Priscilla,
And we're with Bite the Buzz from J-Town High School. How many times do you go to bed in the evening and plug up your phone and expect to be fully charged in the morning, and you wake up and it's not? Well, here at Bite the Buzz, we've come up with a new product called the Technic to solve this problem. Here, let me just get the product in your hands real quick.
Here at Bite the Buzz, we've remastered the universal breakdown of chargers. This product, the Technic, is compatible with any device's charger, ranging from Android to Apple. Now let's talk about the chargers themselves. I'm pretty sure you sharks know, as well as myself, that chargers have a tendency to break down after a while. But with our product, the Technic, you can increase your charger's lifespan infinitely, while also saving yourselves hundreds of dollars by using our product.
So our product was designed to prevent the buildup of a turtleneck. A turtleneck is a buildup of cable that builds up at the bending point of your charger. So you get the Technic and put it at the charger's neck, and it automatically expands your charger's life.
Do you ever get tired of people mistakenly taking your charger just because they think it's yours by accident? I mean, it happens. With the Technic, you can now distinguish from mother to daughter, from father to son's charger with our different variety of colors and patterns. In the future, we would like for you to be able to personalize your charger with either a picture of your choice or your favorite sports team. It's obviously not targeted towards just teenagers, but anyone and everyone with the charger.
Our class designed the Technic. The student in our class, who is in an engineering program, a student in our class is in an engineering program. He designed it using a CAD system. We made a prototype and we presented it to HP Molding for them to give us an estimate.
Sharks, are you ready to end the bang?
Well, I'll go first.
Sharks, do you have any questions about our product?
Yes, I'll go first. So I really enjoyed your presentation. Thank you. So how is this different than other competitors' products that are similar to this?
So far, we've only found one competitor product for this actual design. What it does is only for the Mac computer, and its cost is $60 to save a Mac computer charger.
And what's your price point?
Our price point is $5 for the actual product, which comes with 4 independent pieces, both a male and female part, and they come in sets of 2 for 2 independent chargers.
Thank you.
So that one-time setup fee for HP Holdings and Moldings is $5,000. Seems pretty expensive for a tiny little piece of plastic. How many organizations did you look at to do the molding?
So far, sir, we've only looked at one organization for molding. But
So how are you going to find your customers, or how will they find you?
So far, we've been set up in the cafeteria of our high school, looking at independent people, because at the moment our target audience is only the high school basis. We are hoping to expand past the high school basis and get to everyone with a charger, not just people within our own schools.
Through stores or online?
We hope to be both in stores and online, so we can have people in the stores as well as if they want to order online for like
my associate here said, independent customizations that you wouldn't necessarily get inside the stores.
What was the cost to make the product again? Was that?
One individual piece, both the male and female section, is 20 cents for one part. We put 80 cents within, we put 4 of them within a package, which is 80 cents, not including the actual packaging. It's a 400% increase in profit.
And where will you ship these from? Warehouse needs?
We have not yet looked at a warehouse product. It's a great question, but I'll have to get back to my team on that question.
Do you know what you want your company to look like in 3 years?
In a few years, we'd like to actually get to the rest of the state and perhaps get out of state and get to more areas outside of the country, perhaps.
How many of these you need to sell to break even?
In order to break even, we sell 1,500 units, which is of the actual product itself.
Have you sold any currently?
We have 100 pre-sales before the actual thing has even hit production yet.
Do you have a website?
No, ma'am, we do not. I do believe we have social media.
We have a current Facebook and Twitter page.
Can you 3D print these on demand?
Right now, we only have prototypes we can 3D print. Our 3D printer is not currently well enough to design the actual intricacy that we need for the individual holes in products.
I have the first prototype if y'all like to see it.
When the 100 pre-sales you had, what did the customers that actually bought it say about it? When you told them about your product and they gave you feedback on the idea, right?
They seem to have very positive feedback of the idea. They seem to like the idea of being able to save their chargers and save money over the long run and not just in the short term.
So who came up with this idea and what made you come up with it?
We came up with it as a general class because we thought that the idea of your charger breaking down constantly over and over again, having to constantly go out and buy them, is just ridiculous. Why do that when you can design and build something? I mean, we are an engineering school after all, that could stop this whole problem from happening in the first place.
You said there is one other competitor that is creating a similar product, or pretty much the same product?
It's a similar product, but it's only for the Mac device. Our device ranges from Android to Mac.
Got it. And if your research, is there any patents or trademarks or anything?
We have not researched into patents and trademarks yet, so that's something we do.
So notice when you clasp it, you can't take it off without breaking it. Or is that kind of how it's made to be built?
It can come off without breaking it. It's just you have to wiggle it.
Okay.
I apologize.
That's
It's the 3D printed designs are again not as intricate as we would like them to be. So,
what is your biggest risk?
our biggest risk is probably the setup fee for the actual company, or for the actual molding company.
So we're saying without that, you don't have a problem?
Yes, sir.
Are you all investing any of your own funds in this venture?
Yes, sir.
How much?
We've asked the class to all donate at least $5 to the original setup of the account, as well as to continue to invest whatever they deem fit into the company.
And what do you project that's going to generate?
At this time, sir, we cannot give an actual estimate.
How much money are you trying to raise?
We were trying to raise $5,000 for the actual setup fee, and then we need 20 cents after the 20 cents profit.
Have you considered putting this on Kickstarter?
We have, but we have not yet done it, and that's something I have to confer with my group to actually put up and set up.
Anything else you want us to know about your product or your team?
If you would like to invest in our company, we are giving 20% of the company.
Well, thank you, everyone. Let's give them a round of applause. Dr. Bowers. Lord, you guys are tough. First one. We got 4 more to do. Great job, guys. That was impressive. I liked a lot of the things about them. They looked at a couple of different things. They looked at their competitors. They looked at some different parts of the market. They thought about a lot of things that, you know, that you should think about when starting a business. So kudos to you. Good job. Ready for number 2? Woo! All right. Ready for number 2. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen, is Eagle Tech from the Academy at Shawnee.
My name's Logan. I'm with Eagle Tech, and our job is our product is basically portable phone chargers. What we are trying to do here is basically let students or whoever else that is a busy day or always going through a phone to have a second chance to be able to charge it. So if your phone's dying, you don't have a charger or anywhere else to charge, this will basically save you. Basically, we are trying to get out to classmates and sell them for cheaper prices than normal. Some kids can't always go to malls or can't always be able to access internet. So basically, it's more a convenient way to buy them. We have already sold about 20 chargers, and we are making some good profits. Sorry. And so far. So far, we have been able to pay off 2 loans to increase our inventory. They do come in different colors. This one's a black one, obviously. We also have blue, white, gold, yellow, and green. Thank you. Basically, we are trying to hope that we can expand this company to more of the city instead of just our school, because right now, that's the only we can do. So we're hoping that eventually we can get out to the city and maybe go statewide or national. So that way we can just sell more convenient and more affordable chargers to people that are usually always busy.
So let me make sure I understand how this works. You're basically buying these off of eBay and reselling them?
Basically, we're getting it from a supplier out in Ohio that makes these, and we just resell them. We're basically marketing them.
Okay, because your business profile indicates you're getting it from eBay. Is that not the case?
Yes, we order them from there.
So you buy them and sell them on eBay?
No, we're buying them from eBay and we're selling them at school and local areas.
So what's the value add you bring to the equation? Why wouldn't somebody just go to eBay and buy it?
Because, like I said, not everyone can get into the internet or always have a credit card that they can use. So that way, we're upfront, they can actually see the product themselves and see that it's a good quality. And then plus, normally they're $20 and you can just get this for 10.
So what are you buying them at? What's the cost generally to you?
The cost for each one is about less than $3.
And what are you selling for?
Selling for 10.
Have you sold any?
Yes, we have sold about 20 in 3 days. That was our first whole wave of inventory. We just got new inventory today.
So is there a warranty on it? If I buy one and it breaks, then what do I do?
There is no warranty, but in case if you just bought it and it doesn't work, we will give you another one.
So what if the supplier to you just stops selling these to you? Someone else buys them for more.
Then we'll have to find another way to get the product.
You have a whole collection of these things at home. Why is this one different besides your target market?
Because the reason why this one is different is because this one's not a crazy brand. It's not really popular. So therefore, it's a little bit cheaper and it's still good quality. And then we can also customize it for the consumer, so we can put their initials on it or something like that. We actually engrave onto these for free.
How do you charge these devices?
Basically, there's a cord that comes with it. There's a USB and a micro USB, If you have an Android, you don't have to worry about getting another cord. But if you have an Apple product, you can just put the USB side into the charger itself, and then use the other side, to plug in your phone. And we will show you the product.
So how many are you anticipating to sell in the first year?
We're hoping to get at least about 500 in the first year to sell.
And are these going to be friends and family, or?
Friends, family, local area, locals, just basically around the city or state.
Did you spend any money on advertising or anything?
We do advertise, but we don't spend any money on it. It's basically just flyers and mouse to mouse.
Flyers cost money though, right?
Excuse me?
Flyers cost money.
Yeah, it's just paper and print, so.
That is true. It's not just true thing. So, how about the social media? Do you do any marketing for social media?
We are creating a Facebook account and Twitter.
So you indicate that you guys have done some customer surveys. What are the potential customers saying about this?
Well, before we actually started, we did do some surveys about if they would be interested into the product and what colors. We did get a really positive feedback, and of course, we sold out, so it really worked out well, and consumers are happy with the product.
So why do you call this Eagle Tech? What does that have to do with the product?
Well, our mascot at school is an eagle, so, and then we're selling out a piece of technology, so why not Eagle Tech?
Makes sense.
I have one more question, and I apologize for my covered this early on, but why? What inspired you guys to do this?
What inspired us is because me, myself personally, I had an incident to where my brother was injured from motocross, and I was not able, my phone was dying, and I was not able to call my parents about his injury. So it would have been helpful if my phone was charged, so I could let my parents know that, he was injured and we took him to the hospital.
One question. So I think someone brought up earlier that the market is flooded with these kind of products. I use Mobi personally, but what do you see as your biggest competitive advantage other than the pricing? You said that people could buy it cheaper.
The biggest competitive is that
customization. You mentioned customization. I think
we can customize them, and that also we are local and we're inside schools. So that way students don't have to always go out to internet or always go out to someone else to be able to purchase this.
So it's basically convenience. You're offering convenience that you need it right then and now. Rather than waiting and going on eBay if you don't have a credit card, if you don't have a computer or whatever, right? So, or phone.
Exactly, because during the day at school, people always complain about, oh, my phone, it's about to die, or do you have a charger I can plug into? And that question is always constant in school. So this brings a lot more convenience to them. So oh, hey, I have a couple extra bucks, I can just get this, and my phone will be charging throughout the day.
So you almost have to be at the exact point in time where people will run out of juice in their phone, like school or Forecastle Festival or something like that, right?
Pretty much. A lot of those things. And then some people's concerns is some schools, they don't allow phones at all. So we did say, let's say you're going to school and in case your phone, you didn't charge it in the morning and it's getting low, you can just plug it into your backpack or plug it into your phone, put it in your backpack and leave it in your locker. So that way you have enough phone battery for emergency or after school.
So what size inventory of the product are you going to maintain, and where will it be housed?
Right now it'll be housed at one of the classrooms in our school. We have a lock and safe for them to stay in. We're not too sure if we're going to keep it there or if we start expanding where else we're going to put it.
Do you have your inventory insured, or will you?
Well, we have, sorry, say that again.
Will you have the inventory insured from theft?
So far we don't, but we're hoping that we can eventually when we start spreading out the company. And we're also hoping that hopefully we can get more investments for the company so that way we can expand our inventory and be able to sell more.
If you got the investment, what would you spend it on first?
We would first spend it on the amount of phone chargers that are in demand. So just recently we got an investment into, and we just bought more chargers, about 20 of them, because we sold out of 20 in about 3 days. And we're just going to keep on using that money to invest more and more on inventory, so that way we can get the demand to, or be able to get to the chargers to the customers when they need it. And then hopefully, if we have extra, start spreading it out more and spread out to other schools and businesses or whoever else that wants a phone charger.
Have you thought of what it would take to go from 500 to 5,000, any referral program or anything else?
We have thought about that. We're thinking about maybe expanding to more products, or start customizing more and start making our own. So that way we're different from everyone else. And then we also hope that we can eventually start, we're not doing it yet, orders, but we are thinking about eventually doing some orders so that way, they don't always have to come to us first. They can actually just order online and be able to ship to the house.
Sharks, anything else? Let's give Eagle Tech a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
I have so much respect for what you guys are doing, but you don't need me as a partner. I don't think it would be advantageous to you.
I need a charge right now, my phone is dead, so. So next up, Sharks. Koala Team from Atherton High School. Where are you at, Koala Team?
Hi Sharks, how are you doing today? We are from Atherton High School, and we are quality. Now, we don't have a product in our hand because we're not really selling a product, it's more of an idea. So, what we're doing is we are a non-for-profit that is funding research and design in hopes to encourage consumerism on products that are going to save koalas from one of their own worst enemies, which is their teeth. Now, koalas spend most of their day sleeping, but when they're not sleeping, they're munching on some eucalyptus leaves. Now, eucalyptus leaves in their nature are pretty abrasive, and the grinding that it takes to break those down doesn't really help. So, big problem with koalas is tooth decay, and actually can cut their life expectancy into half. So, a healthy koala can live to be about 15, ripe old age, but this problem cuts it down to about 6 to 8 years. So we're trying to cut it off right at the source. Like I said, we would be a non-for-profit, so most of our funding would come from public and private investors, such as from grants and private companies that are trying to get tax write-offs on their taxes, get some of that money back. And come to us, it's a nice little write-off. And also, koalas are a billion-dollar industry, not worldwide, but they're not just in Australia, but worldwide. So this isn't just a problem that is, in Australia. It matters on a global scale. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. There's a lot of people in here. The guys are going pretty hard. A little flustered. I spoke to most of you at the booth. So as you know, it's a real problem, and it's affecting us on a global scale because little cute creatures are creeping back onto the endangered species list, and we're trying to stop that. So hopefully our company, in its essence, would cut off the problem right at the source and let these little marsupials have a quality life.
What's the solution? How are you going to help the marsupials? Well, give dental chairs and
they get a little squirmy with the vet techs, so we would work through fluoride treatments and calcium treatments to their teeth. But the thing about koalas that makes them so unique is not a lot is known about them. They're pretty odd. They eat leaves that contain cyanide. It's pretty unique.
So wait, let me pause you there. What are you looking to raise money for these treatments?
In our beginning stages, yes, that's what our main goal is right now. Because getting a couple $1 million to set up a research thing at this very moment is kind of hard to do. So right now we need donations with the hope to move to a facility that can allow us to operate and we're to save these little furry creatures.
Is there an opportunity to make a product here, right? So what about making koala false teeth?
I mean, that's the key thing.
Right? I mean, if that's the root cause, no pun intended, of the problem.
Right. I mean, they don't get to go to the dentist and be like, hook me up with a pair of dentures, doc. It's something that we need to understand how it affects them.
That makes some money, right?
There's money for this, the patents and licensing. But the big key thing that we would work on is understanding how these treatments affect them. Not like, we don't want to put stress on the animal, and we also don't want to cause it any bodily harm. Because calcium and fluoride aren't really found naturally in their environment, you know? Very much non-cyanide also.
So how do you get it to them?
We gotta go to Australia.
No, how do you get it? Is this a pill you give them? Is it a mouthwash?
The whole basis for our company is to find these answers out. That's what we're funding.
Okay.
Research and development and how to give these quick answers.
How did you come across the problem? Did you meet some koalas and they were smiling?
It was just a crazy fact that I showed across on Twitter, and I was like, wow, koalas are dope, and their koalas are dope.
Koalas are dope.
Put that on Twitter. Koalas are dope, and dead koalas are not dope.
Why a group of kids like TikTok are going to solve our square problem? Thing is, in Australia, all the funds and donations that you give to save the koalas are really given to maintain their lifestyle until they're home. So it's just keeping them going. So our basis is that we are working to save their lives, not just maintain it until they're in a comfortable state and we can let them go.
So the product hasn't been developed yet. Is that a koala retainer or a...
We're not a product, we're an idea. That's the whole fun of it. We're a little out there, you know, representing Atherton.
So you mentioned that they're endangered. So what's the growth trend, or what's the decrease of growth trend?
They're not endangered at this point, but their population had bounced back at one point, and now due to natural causes such as drought and the tooth problem, they're slowly creeping back to a point where they're endangered.
What's the average lifespan of a koala with good teeth?
15 years.
And one with bad teeth?
6 to 8 at best. And that's not even accounting, these are ones that are in captivity. Ones in the wild, you know, they may only live to be 4 at the most.
I was also going to say, this is a problem for their population, because big teeth are what female koalas look for in a male koala. It's like that affects their mating too.
Oh, good
This is going to sound super cynical, especially for someone who runs a global environmental foundation. But I mean, isn't this kind of going against Darwinism? I mean, survival of the fittest, and
somehow
if their teeth are problem, wouldn't they naturally evolve better teeth, or they would die as a species anyway, no matter what we do?
That was my first assumption too. But what it is that they live long enough to have their babies, you know, little baby toddler koalas, their joeys, and then they don't live much longer after that. So there's enough to reproduce and for there to be a population, but not enough to maintain a population into their old age. There are no koala elderly, unfortunately.
Any other animal species that have teeth problems?
This hasn't been found, and I mean, it's a problem among grazing animals, but I think due to evolution, they might have a harder enamel on their teeth that helps prevent all.
So you've got this idea, like you say, right?
Yes, sir.
What have you learned about this idea? What have you, like, in your research, right? When you look at, when you saw this on Twitter, you said, hey, I want to do something about it because koalas are dope, right? We agreed on that. So, once you did that, right, you probably said, wow, this is what's currently out there helping them. This is what's currently not. And if they only had this, and someone was there to give this to them, that requires X amount of money or this amount of, there must be a thought process there, not just saying, I saw something I'm going to talk about it.
You're very right. That was.
Alright, well, we've done a lot of research on this, and not just besides the Twitter facts, like, koalas, their upper teeth actually decay faster than their lower teeth, and the upper teeth decay at a rate that's 40% higher than they would naturally, and the bottom teeth decay at a rate that's 27% faster than they would normally. So, like, and it affects all koalas because of the way they eat. They grind the leaves down. And they also, if they can't grind the leaves down once their teeth are gone, like they choke on the leaves and they die. And it's becoming the #1 natural cause of death for koalas.
Is it a food supply issue? Have they, back to the Darwinism question, haven't they always eaten us?
They have, and they've always died at a young age. So, I mean, it's been a problem. Actually, we have someone who is in Australia that we got in contact, and it is a real problem there. I mean, it's enough that it's something that's shared among like the environmental community. You know, we have tree huggers here, but they have koala huggers. It's a big thing. I mean, they don't have
So you're going to tell me that nobody has tried to address this problem over there, and you all have to fund the solution from over here?
No one wants to take the risk. They'd rather just maintain and keep them at a point and then let them die off and let the population go down rather than take a step and try and actually make a difference.
So you found the problem, and you're going to focus on the teeth. Have you thought about mashing up these eucalyptus leaves instead?
Well, we can't have someone in the wild, matching up leaves for all the koalas. I mean, I wish that was the simple answer, but in truth, it's a tough problem. It's not an easy answer.
I'm with you on the problem. I guess and I'm kind of going down Vic's path as well. There's a problem. Let me ask you, how many of you before this idea liked koalas, enjoyed koalas, knew about koalas and researched them? And it's a passion, right? Were any of you passionate about koalas directly, or just?
Well, I work at the zoo, and so I kind of knew a little about koalas. We don't have any at our local zoo because they are the population is less than
So if you fix this, and koalas now live 15 years and they've got great teeth, then what happens to the eucalyptus and all the other stuff they eat?
Koalas, they don't have any effect on the environment, like they don't help or hurt it. But a big problem is with deforestation, like the eucalyptus trees, there's less and less of them, and koala's like a big area of space. Like one koala with like 100 trees to itself, but that's becoming a bigger and bigger issue for them. And they're having to compete for this resource.
So can that lead to a new problem?
That could be our next venture. I understand the point that you're making, that yes, if they were to live longer, it may have a bigger effect on the environment, but it also may push to stop deforestation to keep the population around.
So let's pretend you had funding tomorrow. $10 million. Let's throw a number out there. What would you do with it?
First thing first, we gotta get a facility for somewhere to work. Then we need to find researchers that can work in 3 distinct areas. We need researchers in chemical, biological, and then dental researchers, so that we understand how to help this problem in ways that don't hurt the koala. So it's only a positive thing.
So do they have to minor in like
we would have
dental school? I'm not sure how you would get an expert on that.
We would have researchers that have doctorates and postdoctorates in these certain areas. I mean, it's there's no lack of employment, People coming fresh out of school, just swiping right up, they're looking for jobs.
Do any of you have plans to become a dentist? Right?
I don't know about you guys, don't you?
So just to 100% clear again, so the main issue here still is koala DNA. It's not habitat loss, that stuff's making the problem worse, but still the main problem you're addressing is the koala. Is that correct?
It's the koala and their eating habits. And unfortunately, you can't just hand a koala a thing of iceberg lettuce and say, eat this from now on. They kind of have their mind set. So, in order for them to live their life the way they want to, we're trying to, solve the problem so they can live the way they want to.
live a quality life, like I said.
Good point. He said, you know, social causes, that's important. You've been involved in many of them. I commend the social approach being like, hey, not everything has to be a product that makes, you know, $1 million every day, and, you know, et cetera. This is something that's good for the community and environment. So I can appreciate what you all think in terms of helping, and social entrepreneurship, as we all know, is a huge, huge space as well. So great job. I'm not sure if I can find a koala dentist, but I'm going to Google it when I get home and see who the best expert is.
We like the retainer idea.
Retainer?
I'm sure you do know a dentist.
I know a dentist, that's right. But she doesn't do koalas, unfortunately. It's not her expertise. But so we've kind of come to the first three. And Sharks, what do you think so far? Are you enjoying what you're hearing? Are you getting the answers you're looking for? Good.
Very creative.
Yeah. Any feedback currently that you want to throw out there for the audience or for the schools so far? You want to wait till you get a chance to deliberate? Yeah, we'll wait. Okay. So as they're riding away, we're categorizing these in these results on a number of different areas. So I'll let them catch up. But I want to take this next moment to introduce our fourth group, which is going to be, there's only two left, so Jeffersontown Shoe Link.
How y'all doing tonight? My name is Demore Haskins from Jeffersontown High School.
I'm Tashana Tinsley.
And I'm Bryce Shacklett, and we are the Shoe Life. Today we're showing you our pride possession. It's called the Swaglet. The Swaglet is a little piece of plastic that we put on top of your aglet, and it's supposed to make your shoe pop out, add a little bit of fashion to your shoe.
All right, if you didn't know, the Swaglet is the little plastic tip of the end of your shoelace. It's right here. Yeah.
And with our product, how you apply it is right here on the tip of your shoelace. What you do is you cut it to whatever length you want it to be, so you can add it however you want to, and you can add any color you want to too. You can mix and match anything you want. And how you apply it is you slide it onto the top, and then you cut it to how you want to be, and you apply heat. So you can apply heat with like a lighter or like a hairdryer or something like that. And then there you go, you have your Swaglet. You can rock it however you want to on your shoe. Oh yeah, the quality is really good. We tried it on multiple surfaces. People played basketball, soccer with it on. It stayed on the whole time. I see you play tennis. If we put it on there, you'll stay the whole time during your tennis match. Hey, it's high quality.
All right, and our Swaglets come in many different colors. We have red, purple, green, blue, yellow, white, and black. And soon, after we get our product up and launching, we plan to have many different designs for people who really like to customize and match what they're wearing for the day. And our target market is more for kids who are about our age, because I don't know how many kids I've seen standing in line for shoes and people who really like to express themselves, like my friend Damari here.
Well, people like me, I consider myself as a sneakerhead. I have plenty of shoes at home. And like when I buy new Jordans and stuff, I don't like going to school and seeing everybody with the same shoe on. So I like to mix and match things. So like if I go to school with these shoes on, a lot of people have these, but I have black and yellow ones on these, so nobody else has that. So I'm just sticking out being more different than everybody else.
And our profit margin is approximately 400%, and we need you to invest in our product. So we're asking for about $1,000, because with $1,000, we can make 1,500 Swaglets, And with that, we would make about a $4,000 profit back, which would help you get a lot of your money back. And a swaglet only costs about 65 cents to make.
How much you selling it for?
$2.99. So, Sharks, will you please let us swag your egg?
So you can see them on your feet? Because it's hard to see them from
So have you all sold any of these
across
yet?
the room.
No, ma'am, we have not, but we are in the process of selling them now.
Okay.
Right now, what we're dealing with are just prototypes, but soon we have like an actual drawing, and we plan to actually get them up and running and actually selling them.
How'd you come up with this idea? Or is someone doing this, or did you just come up with this?
Well, I came up with this idea just because I like being different. Like, my style is different than everybody else's. I do not like being the same. I like to stick out in the crowd, so I just thought it would be something creative that nobody else would come up with.
Did you research? Is there any competitors?
Well, I researched and it really wasn't any competitors. Like, then nobody had different colors or anything. But people had them made, but it was nothing out there like ours.
Who manufactured these for you?
Our classroom. But people know who manufactured the product.
Who actually made these?
Oh, we made them. But like, we didn't we cut them to size, but like, we didn't make them. We ordered them online.
So where did you get the raw product? I'm sorry, that's what I'm missing.
Online off of a website. I can't exactly think of what the website was called, but we got it online off of a website.
Is the product, did you find it and it was available for a different purpose and you repurposed it into this new venture, or I'm not?
Basically, for our prototype to be here for you today, that's what we've done. But this is not exactly what our product's going to be made of, because we just need a prototype to show you exactly what it's going to look like and how it's going to be.
Okay, gotcha.
Have you thought of making those glow-in-the-dark kind?
Well, actually, that's a good idea.
That one's free.
I'll build off that idea. I think one of the issues for this could be just making something like this proprietary, so that, you said no one else is doing it, which is fantastic. But if you can't legally protect that, then it doesn't mean anything. But the brilliant idea that just came out of my fellow global visionary over here of doing a glow in the dark could actually be a part of a process that you could trademark, protect for life, and that could actually be really valuable.
True. And plus we're in the process of getting like patents and things like that made for our product, so that we actually can go into making it and going farther in our business.
So where's the majority of the cost? I bought, this is electrical wire insulation, all right? So I bought like 8 feet of this stuff for $1.50 a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
Where's the majority of your cost in the packaging?
Yeah, it's packaging and that right there. We end up getting about 65 cents for the whole thing. So the profit margin is really high.
Does that include your labor for cutting this?
The labor, we do it in school, but I'm sure the labor won't be that expensive. We do it ourselves, so.
I like the idea that you took something that was trendy. It was trendy. It was something that you said, hey, this is something that can be marketed and utilized amongst peers in your age group that I remember slap bracelets and stuff like that. They made a killing in clap. Those are great businesses, but they, and even if you're wearing the wrist, was it those Livestrong or whatever those bands? Tremendous business idea there. So, when you look at the people in your peer group, how many people do you think would say, "Oh my gosh, I totally want to customize and uniqueify myself with my shoes and this"? If you looked at what kind of size of is it one person for your class, one person for your school? Is it going to be like a bunch of people that are all going to try and outdo each other with the glow in the dark, with the polka dot one, with the new, basketball, whatever the next thing's coming out? What do you think?
Well, so far, we've had a lot of people come up to us and say, that's really nice, we'd really like to have that and things like that. And for more people, I don't think it'll really be like a competition of who has a better one. I think it'll just be oh, that's cool, look what she has on her shoes. Even though it's little, I notice it because it's different, it pops.
Yeah, I think that's one of your biggest advantages is that, you can potentially launch this product and not have to do as much marketing because everyone, it's very visual, everyone can see it, it's a very sticky product.
Yeah, and also with this product, you can buy it as a group. So like a basketball team, the whole basketball team wants a set, and they can have like the mascot or anything on there. So the whole team can go out there and match with the same shoes and the same swagger. And also the swagger isn't just for the style, it also protects the tip of your shoelace from unraveling. So say you're running or something and you're stepping on your shoelace and it's coming undone. If you have that on there, that most likely will not happen.
Who designed your logo?
You say no?
Who designed the logo?
The logo, we designed it in class. A guy named Matt actually designed it. We had multiple designs, but we just needed help picking one design that we can keep our minds on.
Nice job.
Very good.
Thank you.
You can also use it for hoodies,
Yes,
hoodies and sweatpants and whatever else.
Yeah, we also had that idea for like basketball shorts, anything that involves shoestrings and aglets.
So I see your tagline is swag your ag.
Yes, sir.
Say that again. I want to hear you say it one more time.
So just to clarify, that's swag your ag. Who's your ag?
Your ag is your ag. It's the abbreviation of the shoelace tip.
Okay.
Plastic bag on your shoelace that keeps your shoelace
I did
together.
the alliteration, but I was missing the ag part.
What goes with black dress shoes?
Well, if you have on a white shirt, you can have on a white swagger or a blue
See
shirt.
that? That's quick.
Do you envision it where people could one day kind of go in and custom design whatever they want to put on it? You know, with it.
Once we got enough money, that's what we actually plan on doing, is having them customized to whatever people wanted. Like you can have a sports team or any design you wanted, or like say you like cats or something, you can have cats on there if you want to. Right. You can just have it on your shoe popping up.
Plus, soon we hope, well, whenever we get it up and launching and stuff, that we'll have like a website, because of course you can't just walk in a store and hope for customized designs like that. So you can customize it online and see what it would look like with an example on a shoe and things like that.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think what you could potentially do is, you say you did the glow in the dark one, or if you figure out some sort of iteration of this that you could trademark, that you could protect, and then just go license it to Reebok for X amount for whatever in perpetuity and make a lot of money.
Can you remove these from your shoelace and change the colors?
Yes, you can. It doesn't come off when you like kick it or when you move it, but when you pull it off, it comes right off, and you can slip a separate one on.
What makes your team successful? What drives success for you guys?
We all really want success. We sing success. We see how y'all guys are living. We want that.
You haven't been in my house.
We all like, and plus, even if we don't make a huge amount of money, we all fashionable people. So,
Your business plan submission is well done. I wanted to compliment you on that.
Anything else, Sharks? Anything else you want to let us know about your idea, about the process of coming up with your stuff, or how it's working together? If you want the Sharks to know.
Actually, working with each other is pretty fun. I would say that. It's great being up here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
Good job. Was anybody recording Don saying swag your ag? I wanted to talk about ag. I didn't know what that was either. It's my initials, so I thought it was some sort of that was a cool idea. Remember we talked about the stuff that happened here in high school, the bracelets and all that stuff. That's very clever. So coming up with ideas like that is, Steve Wozniak. I heard him speak a couple months ago, and the one thing he stood out to me. He says that I come up with my business ideas because I look around my life and I just figure out something I want that's not there, and I do it. So this is the kind of example of something like that where three very fashionable people need to be uber fashionable, and they came up with a solution and said, this would be really cool because I want my shoes to sound. So good job on thinking that through. I appreciate that. We're down to our last, but not least and final contestant tonight, and it gives me great pleasure to bring to the stage for our final presentation, Louisville Collegiate School. Seth Blitz.
Gibbets. Zip clips. Hello, Sharks. My name is Harper White, and I'm a senior at Louisville Collegiate School, and we know that we have the next big product. With zip clips, we designed a small attachment to any zipper that enhances the zipping process and also adds style to your zipper. What you have in your hand before you are 2 prototypes for our zip clips. Zip clips can attach to any kind of zipper, whether it be sweatshirt, backpack, any pants. So what you have right now are only our prototype, and on them are our designs with basketball and a cancer awareness ribbon. So with zip clips, it's not only just a type of solution to a problem to make the zipping process easier, it is also a sense of style. And we hope that you can put anything on these zip clips. So how did we get this idea? Me and my friend Billy Dunn were discussing the constant problem, it seemed, with zipping up our backpacks every day. We simply could not get enough leverage on the backpacks to make it zip perfectly every single time. So at first, we started simply with saying, oh, we just need a bigger zipper. But then I thought, wow, we can market this to kids, particularly middle schoolers, who would like to swag out their zippers. So we were very proud to say that we actually made these zip clips in our own makerspace at Louisville Collegiate with a 3D printer, and our head design man, Levi Wolf, is going to talk to you about that.
Hello, at Collegiate we are lucky enough to have a makerspace. In that makerspace we have a 3D printer which we use to design, prototype, and create the prototype that you all are holding right now. On that 3D printer, unfortunately 3D printers are not the fastest thing in the world. One of those prototypes, the 3D printed section of it, would take about 7 minutes to print. So, for that, our solution to that for mass production would be to create an injection mold that we would outsource and mass produce and manufacture.
We've already began to plant the zip clip seed in the Louisville metro area through marketing. Our head of marketing, Alexis Austin and Maddie O'Leary, are going to talk to you a little bit about that.
So we already have active Twitter and Instagram accounts with over 70 followers on Twitter and 50 on Instagram.
We've had students from other schools already ask us about how to get zip clips on Twitter and Instagram, and we are currently in the process of making a website in which you can submit custom orders for zip clips.
While doing research on our target audience, we decided that the best audience to market to was ages 8 through 12. And in this research, we discovered that there are over 24 public middle schools in the Louisville metro area, with the addition of various Catholic or private middle schools. So we're looking at about 40 plus middle schools to sell these zip clips to. We estimated there are about 200,000 kids from ages 5 to 14 living in the Louisville metro area. So how are we going to sell them? We're going to start small. Start off with selling at just snack bars after school, sporting events, fundraising events for these zip clips. Next, we're going to think big. We're in the process of designing a website, and like we said, we're going to outsource the zip clips so we can mass produce. Another big part of what our website we will reap the benefits of the website are the customization and design for the zip clips. We're working to get licensing for professional sports teams. Any local business could put their logo on a zip clip. And yeah, the future is huge for zip clips, and we'd love you guys to be a part of it. So we thank you for your time and like to open up for any questions. Thank you.
On your financials, are the costs of manufacturing based upon the 3D printer or this injection mold?
Based on the 3D printer as of now.
The injection mold, we do not have an actual price that we know of to make the actual mold, but making that actual piece that would be made from the mold would be about 3 cents. And while it's a little bit more expensive than how we would do it on that 3D printer, we'd be able to make a lot more with a lot higher quality and a lot faster by using the injection mold.
So do people buy right off the website? Is that your vision?
Yes, eventually. Right now, like I said, we're going to start off small and get them in just to local schools and middle schools. And then hopefully as the zip clip name grows, we'd like to get them into larger stores in the Louisville area.
So how would they pay for them online?
How would they, what do you mean? Like
how would they pay for them? I don't see in your financials here, I don't see any credit card fees.
Yeah, we were thinking credit card fees.
You were thinking them, but you didn't put them in the business case.
Right, correct.
Okay.
You mentioned right towards the end there that the market's huge.
Yes.
What does huge mean?
We think, when researching, we found that similar product to Silly Bands, their first year they said they sold 10,000 in sales and skyrocketed to 10 million the very next year. So with a similar product, we think that we could potentially be like Silly Bands or something like that. And also, what separates us from Silly Bands, or a product similar to that, is we're not only a style, we are a solution to a problem.
What's the problem?
Zipping up your backpack or whatever it is.
The zipper's already on there, right?
Correct, but like I mentioned before, the zip clip provides more leverage and power to zip your backpack.
Have you done any testing on how much pressure for that to actually zip back and forth and be on your
No, ma'am, we have not. That is simply the prototype. We're working to get a different attachment for the zip clip.
Can you demonstrate it for us?
And right now, that is just our prototype, and our next steps would be to get a better working prototype so that we can start to send out that injection mold, so we can start getting those actual products and start testing them in the market, start seeing what they'll sell, and getting responses to see how people like them, how we can make them better, and perfect our product, and then we can start mass production.
So I saw this and I thought, well, this looks like a cookie. Might be hungry or something. And it made me think of Girl Scout cookies and how they've distributed things, and you've got some awareness to promote cancer and things like that. So have you thought of some of those sorts of campaigns of how you can mix this?
Yes, sir, we have. We believe that the possibilities for zip clips are endless. I mean, there are all kinds of different organizations, all kinds of problems that we can raise awareness for and also raise funding through our zip clips.
Have you tested out any of those elements?
No, the one you have before is just a simple design, the cancer awareness in the basketball. Like I said, we're going to look to expand on those and make personal orders and customization. And also, we're working to get licensing for pro sports teams, colleges, and etc.
So my fellow shark here, Vic, raises a good point. So these do kind of look like little pieces of candy or cookies. And what happens if one's laying around and your little brother or your little sister decides to pick one up and put it in his mouth?
That's a good question for our production manager, Levi.
Very good question.
Delegation.
My answer to that question is, hopefully, this is actually something that I believe in, that almost everybody old enough should be able to be trained in CPR, first aid,
But if I'm an investor and I'm worried about liability, what's your response?
On the packaging, we can put labels, we can put warnings that would helpfully take us out of liability for any accidents that would happen.
How are you going to protect yourselves from a competitor imitating this and copying this?
Could you repeat your question, please?
How are you going to protect your company from a competitor copying this and replicating it?
We're already working to get patents on the zip clips, so hopefully that'll take away false competitors.
What's the cost to do that? Again, I don't see that in your business plan.
The patent? That's a good question. We're going to get back to you on that one.
Give it to her. Defer. Don gets a good point. This is a pretty simple and effective tool. I'll buy it that it's easier to zip things up. I can see that. I'll say it's neat. You can help personalize your experience and all that stuff. Licensing, all that. But it is just one circular piece of plastic with a hole in it, right? When you talk about protection, are you planning on doing one design? Are you planning on doing multiple designs? Are you planning on doing ergonomically tested type of? I mean, what's the differentiation if someone does come in and says we are different than zip clips because we are square instead of circle, or we do different things? What are you trying to do in terms of saying it's more than just a circular piece of plastic?
Well, we've been working on this for a while, and we've been prototyping many different designs, and this is just the design that we brought you. We have other designs that we're thinking about, and we are actually still working on other designs And hopefully after we start getting our website ready, we can start patenting other designs that'll make customizing your zip clip. You'll have more options, maybe different shapes, more options for stickers, colors, basically anything.
I'll add on to that question. I mean, in your mind, is it more fashion or function?
More fashion. It serves as a function, yes, but we really see the possibilities for Zip Clip as endless. I mean, like we mentioned before to him, you can put whatever you like on the Zip Clips, and we really are excited about our website that we're already working on currently, to where you can personalize your Zip Clip and really put whatever you want. Like you could put a picture of you and your wife on the Zip Clip if you really wanted to.
Have you thought of putting sort of an Internet of things, thing on this so that if I lose my bag, I can figure out where it's located?
That's a very good idea. Thank
Yeah, seriously. Don and Vic are gonna start 6 companies after this.
You should add that to your trademark application.
How was it? I mean, when you came up with this, right? Explain the process of how you came up with it and said this is something that people will want to buy.
Yeah, like I said, when we came up with this idea, it was simply a solution to a problem, and then it grew to, wow, we can put whatever we want, and we really think that the kids would love to have a sense of style. I'm a soccer player, and when I went to soccer tournaments as a kid, from every tournament they had a pin that you placed on your backpack from the tournament. And it was always the cool guy who had been to the most tournaments, who had the most pins on their backpacks. So we kind of thought with Zip Clips, I mean, at $1 per package of 3, you could buy as many Zip Clips as you want, realistically.
So why are the 4 of you together?
We at Louisville Collegiate are in a class called Fieldwork Immersion. It's mainly comprised of seniors, but Levi is a freshman, and we meet daily.
So the 4 of you are together because you're a class or because you're dedicated to this thing?
Both.
Who came up with the name?
I came up with the name.
What's your reaction on social media been like as you all are doing that?
We've had students from other schools tweet us back and ask where they can get one and when they'll be ready for sale.
What are your next steps once you get funding?
Yeah, once we get funding, we're going to go forward with our website design, and like Levi was talking about, we really think this would be a great product to outsource. We simply can't make all these Zip Clips in our 3D printer. It just takes too much time.
Any more questions? Let's give a round of applause. Thank you, please. What do you think? You know, it's funny. I always joke with these guys that it's fun to be on this side of the tank because it's a lot less pressure in there. But you all did a great job. It's not easy. You defended your ideas. You came up with good concepts. But more along the lines, I was really impressed with how you all kind of thought your way through from conception to, hey, this could be something that we could work on. Any thoughts, you guys, judges, that you wanted to kind of impart before I send you back to deliberate on what you've seen kind of the whole from the young entrepreneur society, if you will, of Louisville? Any thoughts?
I say keep collaborating and looking at simple problems every day, and you just have to try. And even if you fail, you try again.
Yep.
I love these ideas. I thought there were some winners in this bunch.
You've already come up with these investment plans for them, haven't you? Go ahead,
Yeah, I thought it was great how they each tapped into their own demographic. You know, they each seem to know things that I don't know, that no one up here probably knows, that you know, really aligned with their target markets. That was good to see.
And Don, being kind of from the finance world, you had some really strong questions around financials and making sure that, because the business has to make money. You know, everything you can have passion, you can have all that, but right?
I mean, it is Shark Tank after
Yeah,
all.
absolutely,
right?
no,
So, you know, some really good business plans, but I would challenge folks to really think through all of the components of the, you know, of the plan and the financials, because there's a lot of hidden costs that I think
Costs add up, right?
Yeah, costs add up.
Absolutely right.
That's right.
So, anything else, Sharks? If you want, I'd say one thing I enjoyed seeing is I like the ones that took advantage of social media. That was something that's free. It's easy to do. It's easy to kind of go and say, hey, what do you think about this idea? Doing that, I thought that was a simple, easy way to kind of get validation for ideas. So I know there's a couple of kids, especially in this generation. Your generation lives and breathes by it. So definitely, I enjoyed hearing the stories that you all had around that. So what I'd like to do next, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to dismiss our Sharks to go judge these plans, because I know they have a tough time scoring these, and to kind of come back with their answers. So, Sharks, if you will please make your way to the green room. It is completely airtight, no ventilation. PricewaterhouseCoopers is, you know, validating the results, right? So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to kind of touch a few points before we continue the next phase of our program, which will be our keynote speaker. A little bit about the importance of this. You heard the ideas that the kids all brought to us today. You heard about what they thought of. They spent weeks with their mentors, with their teachers, with each other, trying to learn about what makes a business work. Well, the truth is, all the companies started that way. Humana started that way. Yum started that way. Dell, you name it. It all comes back to having this sort of exposure to encouraging our kids to have these ideas and making them come to life, pursuing it, and making them come to their own conclusions that this is going to be the next blockbuster idea, or nope, this isn't going to happen, I'm going to do something else. So when Dr. Carrot was talking about failing and try again, that's kind of what she's saying. So good job, guys. This is not easy to do, so I'm really But we wanted to give you a little taste of what it's like, because other days, we are all on this side of the tank. So So as I bring up our next speaker, or our keynote speaker, J.K. McKnight, who you've had the pleasure of hearing speak so far, he's a great entrepreneurial story of homegrown talent who had a vision and an idea and just wouldn't quit. I'm sure along the way people said, what are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? What are you trying to achieve with this? But he said, no, I have a vision. I know this is going to work. I have ideas of how this is going to benefit not only what I want to do, but the community as a whole, my activism as a whole, and really seeing this through to the point he has is a tremendous, remarkable story that I think is fantastic for all of you all to hear. You know, it's not very often from a business setting they get to introduce someone who works with My Morning Jacket, Bear in Heaven, bands like Modest Mouse, Sam Smith, all these guys. So this is going to be a little fun speech. So I want to kind of open and introduce him with a short video that kind of tells his story.
progressive city to have an event like this, because this is an event, you know, if you didn't live in Louisville and if you're from maybe the East Coast or the West Coast, you wouldn't associate with being Louisville. So it definitely puts Louisville on a map as a progressive young community.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for Louisville's own, homegrown, my friend, J.K. McKnight.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I do a lot of talks to a lot of different high school students, and that's probably my favorite group to talk to. High school is the most formative period in your life, in my opinion, and I don't know how many of you out there know what you want to do, but you're probably thinking about what you want to do. And you know, high school can be a very confusing time, frustrating time. As you're kind of in your journey of self-discovery and trying to figure yourself out a little bit. You know, the important thing, I think, when you're in high school, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're feeling and what you're thinking, is that you challenge yourself through it. You know, I know from my experience that challenging yourself is really the only way to figure out what you're capable of. It really is. And human beings are capable of some amazing things. Forecastle being an example of that. You know, I started Forecastle right out of high school, about 2 years after high school. But the seed was definitely planted in high school, and more so the values of what it took to carry me through the journey of Forecastle for the following now 14 years were all ingrained in me during high school. And I want to talk a little about that. I want to talk about those values. You know, I went to St. X. I didn't actually see these St. X. I think presentations up there was interesting. To say something about that. But you know, when I was there, I remember seeing, you know, all these words kind of flashing around the halls everywhere. You know, discipline, respect, integrity, honesty, all these things. And to be totally honest, to me, they were just words. They were just words. They had no substantive meaning to me whatsoever. But they mean something to me now. Having gone through taking a simple idea, a simple vision, just as simple as any one of these ideas that was pitched today, and growing it into a multi-million-dollar enterprise that attracts 60,000 people from 2,400 cities, 11 countries, and 49 states. It's been a pretty epic journey. And if I had to just distill down a couple attributes that, in my mind, are the most important attributes you can pick up in high school and apply those as you learn to grow your business, I would say there's three things. The first one is excellence. And what is excellence? You hear excellence all the time. You hear it in the media. You hear it in books and magazines. It's one of the most overused words out there. But what does it really mean? And what it means is setting a bar. It means setting a really high bar for yourself, a bar that's higher than the competition that's currently out there. Because in business, you're eventually going to have competition. Even if you start an idea that's completely blue ocean, no one's ever done it before, well, if you start growing it, other people are going to start doing it. In 2002, the same year I started Forecastle, a lot of other major festivals were started. Bonnaroo was started. Coachella got started a couple years before that. Lollapalooza had just come off a 10-year experiment through the whole United States. And now I would say, you know, festivals have grown exponentially. People saw what we were doing at that time period, and now it's it's a very a red ocean market, as they say now. So, you know, back when we were young and we were starting this festival concept and it seems so crazy. Let's take music and art and activism and take all these things, these cultural mediums that we've seen all over the place, and put them into one festival, have them all represented equally in a scenic landscape like we have in Louisville. It seemed like a very simple idea. It didn't seem like a very Blue Ocean kind of concept. The difference maker, though, was the standard that we held ourselves to. We did not just want to be an average festival. Every single detail that got put into the first forecastle up into the last forecastle was put under a microscope. Every single part of the fan experience, every single part of the artist experience, the sponsor experience, the media experience, all very closely examined with a bar that was set a lot higher than the competition that was out there at the time. And one thing that I knew starting out was even if we didn't have the money and financial resources and investors and bank loans, which we didn't have for about 8 or 9 years, we had the passion to make up for that. But the bar had to be set somewhere. And that's one of the first things you do in business, you set the bar. You set higher than your competition, and you don't go below that. So that's excellence. Second one I want to talk about is discipline, and this is arguably the most important one. And they say, how do you take a good business, how do you make it great? How do you create that differentiation? You do it through 3 things. You do it through disciplined people, disciplined thought, and disciplined action. They say discipline is the soul of an army, and I believe that. Discipline kind of makes anything feel possible. We just got out of the Final Four and all this March Madness. You wonder, how did that team, 7th seed or 8th seed, 9th seed, how did they get to the Final Four? Well, they get there because they're all aligned around a very strong vision, and they're all disciplined. Discipline is so important too, because when you have people and you're trying to meld them together and you're trying to really create a cohesive nature around your business, everyone always has to be on the same page. Everyone has to be following the same strategy, same vision, and same strategical template as everybody else. I think Mike Krzyzewski, Coach of Duke, always said, a fist is stronger than a finger. And I think that's what discipline's all about. So discipline's key. A third thing I want to talk about too is integrity. I think integrity is one that, again, you hear all the time, but what does it really mean? Integrity means not cutting corners. It's very easy and very susceptible to cut corners when you're growing a business. It's very difficult to continue to keep that standard of excellence that you started from day one and take that through every piece of your core business. So I really think integrity, excellence, and discipline, those are definitely 3 core values that I felt were thrown at me left and right when I was in high school, but through my career, I've continued to come back to those 3 things. So the time I have, say thanks everyone for coming here again. This was amazing getting to hear the ideas here. Like I said, my business started with the vision is very simplistic as everyone else is saying. So, thank you.
Thanks so much, JK. I hope you all got the same energy that I get when I hear that story. One thing he didn't tell you, or he may have told you when I was backstage, was that a couple months ago at the South by Southwest Festival, did he tell you about meeting Mark Cuban? No? Well, that was something his mom told us was always something he always wanted to do, and finally got a chance to do it. So he got some good tips from Mark. I'm sure you gave him a couple tips too, right? To Mark and said, yeah, it makes sense. So JK is someone I think that you all can really identify with, something, an idea. And I'm sure some of you, or some you know someone, or if you're not yourself, or if yourselves may have gone to the Forecastle Festival and seen where it's evolved to and how one idea can move mountains. So, but now it's time for the final portion of our first annual pitch competition. So you want to hear the winners, right? Woo! Are you ready? It was close. It was close, and there was a lot of great discussion backstage. I'm going to let that kind of run scores. But what I would like to do before we first of all, I'd like to bring our Sharks back up on stage, if you don't mind. So Sharks, please come back up. Let's give them a round of applause. their time and expertise. I mentioned in my opening remarks that this holds a very special spot for me, and it really does. Because when I was asked to chair this competition, I really had high hopes for it, and I, like any entrepreneur, sometimes we'll do a couple of schools and see what it's like we're going to make it a big, full-fledged competition and get everyone to compete against each other for the best idea. But you can't do that with a phenomenal team and visionary partners that have helped kind of put this together and really did all the work. I mean, I'm so honored to introduce Lisa Bajornis and Deborah Hoffer from Junior Achievement and GLI's Enterprise Store.
So much. This is just a dream for me to be up here and the Junior Achievement board members and volunteers. I just want to tell you, students, you killed it. I mean, you were so wonderful. I hope the one thing that you learn from this is that you can be successful like they are. You know how it works now. And if you believe in yourself and everything that J.K. said and the judges said and advising you, just believe in yourself. I mean, the older people are going to fade away, and then you're going to step into power, and you're going to be running the world. So I'm sorry, but we are, aren't we? I mean, eventually. So congratulations to everybody, whether you win or not, or whether you're a finalist or not, you were wonderful. I also need to thank our judges. You were wonderful. I just... we want you back next year. I'd like to thank our partners, Lisa Bajornis and Enterprise Corps and Kentucky Innovation Network. Encore has been the visionary, and there's no surprise there. And he did do a lot of work. He responded to at least 30 emails that we sent every day, and we appreciate that very much. But partnerships can be messy things. I know that those of you who are in business or even working in your company, it can be kind of messy working together sometimes. In fact, I don't know what the statistic is. Sharon, Dr. Carrick, you know this, but I think I've heard 60% of partnerships fail because for one reason or another, somebody doesn't really get along, or they don't want to do all the work, or they feel cheated. And I just want to say, we have a wonderful partnership, and we appreciate it. Encore, thank you so much. It's been just a true joy. So I feel like I'm accepting an Academy Award, but the reason that I feel like I'm the winner is because of you. And so thank you, and we just want to see you guys back, and I want to see you get rich and famous. Thank you.
Quickly, I wanted to take a moment, much like we saw the statistics for Forecastle, and just mention a few statistics around this particular program. So consider this: 500 students, 30 business mentors, 19 startup companies, 16 faculty members, 14 high schools from 4 different counties, over 13 weeks, with 5 finalists, and finally soon we'll know who is the overall #1 startup company from our high schools. This has been an amazing experience as part of the JA Company program. I want to thank each and every one of you, students, faculty, and parents who assisted in this program. You all were piloting this program here, and it is certainly my vision, our vision, that we roll this out statewide in the coming years. So thank you so much. Congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Lisa and Deborah. Deborah, we have a little something for our sharks. They're a bag of minnows, so they can go. But I think one of the great testaments to them is that they have done so much for this community and so much in their own careers, but yet this is so important to them that they all said, yes, we want to do this, and it's important to us too. So I think it's a testament of a fantastic, fantastic group of judges, and I commend you and thank you for being part of this, because we all know this is not an easy thing to commit to, but really appreciate you buying in and helping us out. So thank you so much for all of you. Also, we'd be remiss if I didn't thank the volunteers that have helped put this together, the teachers, the parents, the mentors, the people behind the scenes. Tremendous amount of movement we tried to do to get this first annual pitch competition out, and I think we'll do it again next year. What do you think? Yeah. Do it again? All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, music please. It's time to announce our winner. So I'm going to call the schools up. If you come line up here on stage left of me. And while the students are coming up, I would like to formally thank my partners in crime for this wonderful journey, Lisa and Deborah, who've done an amazing job, and they care so much about this, and it's amazing not to fall in love with their path as well. So we have our own shark gift to give you, so yeah. You got all the minnows here now, sharks. They're all here waiting to hear what you came up with, how you deliberated, how you decided. Congratulations to all of you for making it this far. But as we know, we have to be only a few finalists and one winner. So, with that being said, we're going to do this in 3 awards, starting with third runner-up.
But, you know, as an investor, it's
That was Mark Cuban. I'll interrupt Mark Cuban. Third runner-up, ladies and gentlemen, is Bite the Buzz from J-Town. Safer pictures, please.
We really thought you guys did a great job presenting, and you have something there that you can potentially take on to the next step, so great job.
I love the real world application. I've had to spend $65 a place in my chargers.
Did I buy a package before I leave?
Well done.
Thanks, guys.
I guess that would be first run. I guess I said third runner-up, but that's actually third place. So in second place, ladies and gentlemen, Louisville Collegiate School. Give them a round of applause.
ZipClip, we thought that you guys could really have something going with trading with other schools and collecting the zip clips, and we thought that that really could build off a whole new product line, for sure.
To me, this is a marketer's dream because you can really start targeting your segments and going after them in very different and innovative ways.
Very solid business plan. I mean, probably one of the most well-developed. Good job.
Absolutely. The preparation was flawless. I thought you guys did a great job, great team interaction. Nice job.
Before I announce the winner, I'd like to thank all of you for coming and supporting this event. It means a lot to us. We look forward to doing this bigger and better next year. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 JA Pitch Competition Award winner goes to Shoe Life!
We love that you guys had so much energy behind that, and passion is part of entrepreneurship. And you guys just had so much life that you're going to give this, and so congratulations, well deserved.
You guys had passion and function. You wanted to both count, so awesome job.
Look, you had it all. You had product, you had plan, you had passion, and you even had a little charisma. So it was super. Great job.
So thank you all the schools for competing. We'll see you again next year with bigger and better plans. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations, and we'll see you statewide in 2016. Thank you all so much.
Yep.